guys, and welcome to an NGB podcast special. This time round, you've got myself, Ben Ward, and I am joined in person by Gary Clark.
How's it going, mate?
I'm pretty good, and we have spent today essentially running around LA, going to different places and checking out different things. And we've just got back from the Sony conference, so we are literally sat on a bed in the hotel, and we are going to talk about what we saw, what Sony announced, what they unveiled, and to be honest, it was a pretty good showing.
Yeah, it's very positive. Just straight from the start, they sort of kicked off with they had an orchestra, and that really sort of set the tone.
Yeah.
And then after that come a big one in God of War.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was fantastic.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the notes I've got basically said that it started off with that with the choir and the orchestra
who are actually doing the score for the game as well. So.
Doing the score, and then I think we kind of cottoned on relatively quickly, and we sort of looked at each other and went, "This has got a war, isn't it?" And like within minutes, like the trailer, the gameplay started.
Holy crap! Did that look nice?
It looks incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I honestly think this was the best conference from E3.
Yeah, from what I've seen, each had their sort of good bits, but I think Sony from the start till the end, there was a couple of moments where I didn't really care too much, but 95% of it was positive for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and like the God of War stuff, I mean, it just looked incredible.
Oh my god, yeah.
Quite an interesting choice in that they've gone to like a third-person behind-the-shoulder camera. Obviously, the previous God of War games have been that kind of action game from afar.
Yeah.
And you've been able to go mental. So it'll be interesting to see
how that works.
Just how they've pulled that back, because I can't imagine like the crazy, full-on combos would work in that.
Yeah. I don't think they've got like the combo sort of button bashing in a sense as they did before, because afterwards we'll talk about this later, but we see some VR stuff in a separate room, and on stage they had like the two guys developing the game, and Jeff Keighley asked about the button bashing style, like the combo side of it, and they didn't say no, they haven't got it, but they said in essence the way it was before, we haven't got it. So I think this game is sort of slightly different in the way you sort of play the game.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, it's, as I say, going to that camera angle, it just wouldn't sit right. I don't think it'd be
too much. I think too full on. Because the reason it works in the older games is because it's pulled back and far away. You can see more of like the environment. So yeah, that's probably why they've sort of gone down a different route with it.
Yeah. Next up, we saw Days Gone, or at least you did. I was busting for a piss, so I kind of disappeared. But we got to sort of see more of that a bit later on as well. I think this was a title that was previously called Dead Don't Ride, Sony Ben's new game. This, I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit, because we'll come to that for the end of it. But the reveal was quite brief. It was quite a short teaser, and it seemed interesting from that point. So
it sort of reminded me of a cross between like The Last of Us and Dead Rising. It was
that's a good shout.
Yeah, see, that was one of the ones. I think it looks good, but it didn't sort of blow me away. Like, it wasn't one what said, "Wow!" Like, I'm super pumped for this. It looked good, like I say, but I don't know. What do you sort of feel?
I think from that trailer initially, I thought you probably agree with you there. We'll talk about the gameplay in a bit. So, following that, we had a new trailer for The Last Guardian.
Yep.
And I turned to you and I think I said we need to get a fucking release date.
And then split second later, it came up with October
the 25th is the release date for that one. So
it's only been 10 years in the waiting.
I mean, this was a game that started off as a PS3 game, I think, at one point. So this was the one that way back when, I think there was a lot of buzz going around. Something that a BBC journalist said that he saw that made him go like, "Oh shit!" And this was the game. So it's been a long time coming, but finally, when it gets to the end of October, we'll get it, and it looked good.
It did.
It really did look good. The kids got like now a much more cartoony art style to it. And I think that could work quite well.
Yeah, and obviously now with the PS4, they've got more hardware to play with, so you can tell that with like the sort of the physics on the fur and that sort of stuff. So.
Oh, the feathers looked amazing.
Yeah,
on that thing
if you liked the original, which I did, I thought it was amazing. Then it's more of the same, but it looked fantastic. But it's just good to finally have
release date for it. Yeah, totally. So following on from The Last Guardian, we had 2 PS4 exclusives on the trot. We had Horizon Zero Dawn, and Detroit Become Human. Horizon was essentially kind of an expansion on the demo that we saw last year. Last year focused on like a boss battle.
Yeah.
This time around was focusing on more general moment-to-moment gameplay. And what did you think?
I thought it looked really good. It looked beautiful, absolutely beautiful. My only sort of issue with this sort of chunk of gameplay they showed, it's very similar to what they showed, was it last E3?
Yeah.
Or was it Gamescom? I can't remember, it's all a blur, but... they had sort of very similar, well, not similar mechanics, same mechanics, like the rope pulling, tying around legs, limbs, that sort of stuff. I thought because it's been sort of pushed back, I thought they might shown something sort of completely different, but it felt like, while I was watching it, it felt like sort of a bit like deja vu, like I've seen it before sort of thing.
That's a fair point, yeah.
But... like, it's going to be a massive game, and it looks incredible. So I can't imagine it's going to be a bad game.
No, I mean, like the guys at Guerrilla, they're known for their polish and stuff. And I think
exactly.
The one complaint that I would have is that it looked a bit framey at times. Like you could see it start to just chug in places.
Yeah, and there was a bit of pop up as well coming in as well.
So obviously they've got time to polish that out. Hopefully. I think it looked good. I really like the idea of kind of the world going to shit and then it being left in like the hands of robot dinosaurs to do that. So.
And they look awesome as well, by the way. Like the sort of the art style of the
design,
dinosaurs.
The design team that deserves.
They don't actually call them dinosaurs, they do that. They call them. I can't actually remember what they call them.
I can't remember what they call them.
Robotics, something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it looked beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I just need to see more, but something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it was Detroit Become Human.
Yep.
Which seems like it's going to be a Quantic Dream game. Like, there's no real other way to say that. I get on with Quantic Dream games. I quite enjoy them.
I do, yeah. Heavy Rain was still one of my favourite games on the PS3.
Yeah.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, you either love them or you hate them.
Yes.
You either get on with them or you just think they're crap.
They're very unique in that regard.
Yeah, and I think this kind of looks like it's going to take on that Quantic Dream mantle. It's going to be essentially more of that. I don't want to say more of the same because it does look like it's got a lot more branches.
Yeah.
I think that the trailer that was shown had that sort of condensed moment where you've got one little choice that can spark off into so many different ways.
I thought it looked good.
Yeah,
really
I mean, visually it looks stunning because the Quantic Dream games always do. But
and David Cage, obviously, or David Cage. He's always sort of been making those sort of games / movies type experiences, so you can sort of expect Detroit to be very similar in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the sort of the chunk they'd shown, I thought it looked very impressive. Just hope the story, because I know Beyond Two Souls got a bit of flack for the way its story was.
Yeah, I mean,
chopped all over the place.
I quite like Beyond Two Souls for all its flaws. I think the way that the narrative got, as you say, chopped up and moved about. I got on okay with it. I know a lot of people didn't, but we'll see what happens with Detroit. I think I don't think they put a release date out for it, did they?
No, I can't imagine it's anytime soon, to be honest.
No.
Probably
I mean, I would have thought that they'd been on it for a while.
Yeah, probably. Well, if I had to guess, sort of end of 2017, maybe. Sort of
possibly so. Yeah, I mean, we might see a release date later on, a couple of months or so. But I was a bit surprised that we didn't get a release date, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Then the next thing that came up was kind of it led into a bit of a focus on VR. But the initial one was it came up and it said Beyond Kitchen. Immediately thought, oh, okay, cool. It's that Capcom demo, and it looked creepy as fuck.
Oh yeah, there was a girl like a few rows back. Did you hear her? She screamed her head off when there was a moment like
there was a guy that walked past the door and a girl behind us like absolutely blew her top. But sure enough, after that, it turned out that was Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming.
No. I mean, there were rumours. There was a couple of rumours that it might be making an appearance, but yeah, for that to show up in the way that it did, and then for Sean Layden to come out and just basically say, "Oh, by the way, if you want to, you can play the whole game in VR."
Yeah,
that's quite cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to work that. Like, are they going to make the main game first person, or are they? Well, I mean, we're asking questions that we can't answer.
True.
But, I mean, it certainly raises some interesting queries about the game that hopefully, that they'll answer in due course.
It looked like, for what it is, a horror game. It looked creepy as
it looked really grim.
Hell,
which I know a lot of people have been sort of hankering to get back to that with Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And the fact that they seem to have done that.
Yeah,
is just brilliant. And
it looked fantastic.
I mean, fair play to them on the logo as well.
It's clever,
like, the logo for the UK and for the Western Territory says Resident Evil, but the 7 is highlighted in the V, the I, and the stalk of the L.
Really cool.
But in Japan, it's Biohazard. But it's got Biohazard, and then the 7 is highlighted in the Z, which I thought was pretty cool as well.
Really cool.
So.
Yeah, but that looked impressive. Did we get a release date for that? Or?
No, I don't think there was. There was a lot of stuff going on with that. It seemed pretty cool. As I say, that then led into a bit of a conversation about VR, which led to Farpoint, which is that game set on Mars.
Yeah.
Looked sort of a bit forgettable. Kind of a bit generic first-person shooter, but it's got that VR hook to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't really say that got me too excited,
to
be honest. However, the next two did get me quite excited because it was the Star Wars X-Wing VR mission.
So good. Like it was short. It was like probably not even 30 seconds, but oh my god, yeah. I can just imagine playing that. That's what.
Yeah, it's like this is kind of what you want VR for, isn't it? To get those kinds of experiences and feel like a kid again.
But unbelievable, yeah.
And then coming out of absolutely nowhere, I don't think anybody saw this coming, was the announcement of a Batman VR.
Oh my god! Like, I just did not. If I would have thought of 10,000 things what could be at that conference, that wouldn't have been on there.
Yeah,
I just never. Obviously, Rocksteady, a great studio, they know what they're doing. If that was me, I would never have thought you could do that with a Batman game.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens with this.
Unbelievable.
I really hope I get to see, if not like all of it, at least kind of some of it this week, and get some hands-on time with it.
Yeah,
or maybe just see what it is.
Yeah, exactly. The way they've done the trailer as well, with like the Joker speaking, and then all of a sudden,
because we looked at each other and went, "Is that?"
Yeah, it sort of took a while to sink in. I think
that's the Joker, isn't it?
But yeah, that's
the fucking Joker.
That's like I was saying to you before today that I was a bit sort of with VR. I was very close to cancelling my pre-order just because nothing sold me.
Yeah.
But after what they announced today, I think it's a good enough reason to keep it.
Absolutely.
Batman. That really.
It's intriguing. It's not necessarily like a must-have. It's one of those intriguing.
It's one of them
things.
you want to know more.
What are they going to do with it? That seems to be the cool thing. After that, had another Final Fantasy 15 trailer. We had one a bit earlier on in the day with Microsoft. The demo at Microsoft, not going to lie, looked clunky as hell. I wasn't I wasn't too keen on that.
And this one was just weird.
The trailer for this one was a bit strange. It started off and it said Final Fantasy 15 trailer with Afrojack. I was like, okay. And they had some weird dubstep music in there, and it was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Each their own. But then at the end, they kind of announced that there's going to be a Final Fantasy 15 VR experience.
Yeah.
Which, again,
if you're a fan of the series, then yeah.
Absolutely. So that kind of wrapped up the VR gameplay. Then they came out and said, right, okay, PlayStation VR is out on October the 13th.
Yep.
Previously, just given the month of October, so they've nailed that. They've nailed that date down. The price has stayed the same.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of time to save up if you want to get one. Then they kind of eased us back in with some Call of Duty gameplay.
Yeah.
I for a minute genuinely thought it was Titanfall 2.
Yeah, I did. Because you sort of turned to me and
yeah,
it did seem like a Titanfall.
Well, the thing that threw me was that they've used the same font in a lot of the stuff. Or at least it seems like the same font. A lot of stuff from Titanfall with that, and that I'm not gonna lie, it threw me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. But as the trailer went on, you got the bit with the grappling hook, and it's with the grapple thing. It's okay, yeah, I've seen that in the trailer before, where they grapple the guy and snap his neck, and the space stuff actually looked kind of cool.
It did actually, yeah. Because I remember when it got announced, I was a bit like, what are they doing? But after seeing that, I must say it actually looked like it worked. But yeah, I'm not a massive Call of Duty fan. I used to be, but yeah, after seeing that, I can actually say that it did sort of get me intrigued by it a bit more.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm still not 100% sold on Infinite Warfare, but then they showed the all gillied up mission from Call of Duty 4 remastered, and I thought, yep, all right, I'm
sold.
In.
That is still one of the greatest missions ever in a first.
It's amazing. That game is one of the best games of all time.
It still is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant.
Then they raised the the LED board up, and it had a background of kind of a tropical island with some jaunty music playing, and everyone goes, we know what this is. And sure enough, Crash Bandicoot 1 through 3, I think, or was it 1 through 4? It might be all 4.
It was so quick that easily missed.
To be honest, the noise of the guys in front of us who kept repeatedly jumping up kind of drowned it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But basically, there's the Crash Bandicoot games getting remastered, coming to the PS4.
Yeah.
I don't think we got a date on that. I think it might have said by the end of the year, but I can't remember.
But it's great.
And then
news.
we got the announcement that Crash Bandicoot's coming to Skylanders, and I kind of fell asleep at that point. But it's cool. We're getting the Crash games.
Yeah,
on the PS4.
that's a good thing. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of people want a new Crash game, but I think the legal sort of.
I think this might be Sony sort of dipping their toes in the water and see
what
how
happens,
it goes.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that one. Then kind of Lego Star Wars.
It looked hilarious.
It looks
brilliant. They always get them right. So
they always nail the humour.
Yeah, humour's phenomenal, and this looked just more the same. If you're into the Lego games, then
I mean we're not getting Star Wars in Lego Dimensions anytime soon, which is a bit of a kick in the knackers, but
it could happen because obviously now Disney Infinity is
that's the thing. It's not going to happen in Wave 2, so possibly this time next year we'll be looking at it. I mean, in terms of the Lego games, I think this was a decent reveal. I'm surprised it got a billing at a press conference.
I was quite surprised by that, and it was quite long as well. That trailer.
But we'll have to see what happens with that. Although I suppose they had the announcement that and you can play the demo now.
Yeah, that's probably why.
That's probably why
sort
they
of ties into it, I suppose.
Then, to be honest, there were two what I would probably look on NeoGAF and see called megatons. There were two big announcements that followed each other in quick succession. So the first one, Andrew House came out and introduced Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. The place just went crazy.
The room just went nuts. He introduced his new game, which has got Norman Reedus in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was supposed to be working with Norman Reedus for Silent Hills, which got cancelled. So presumably, they've kind of got him back involved to.
Yeah, no Del Toro though, I noticed.
No, that's been confirmed. I think that this Del Toro spokesman's come out and said that he's not working with him on this. But it's a game called Death Stranding. Not 100% sure what that means.
Yeah,
I mean, it's way too early to tell. I think after the show there was Jeff Keighley was interviewing Kojima, and he essentially said, "No, it's very early. We still don't know really what's happening with it." So, well, obviously he's got a vision for it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's probably going to be a while before we see the game. Very weird trailer. Apparently, it was all running in engine in real time. So we'll see what happens with that. I'd be interested to see what engine he's using, because it's probably not going to be the Fox engine.
No, it's a freaky sort of trailer. He's like naked on a beach with a baby that's got no clothes on, and then he picks the baby up, looks down, and the baby's disappeared, and then there's like sort of dark footprints all over his. It was odd. It was hard to sort of make out what it was really. But
I mean it's a Kojima game.
That's true. Yeah, like you remember like Phantom Pain trailers early on. It was just like what's going on? But yeah, he makes like classic games, so I've got no worries about it being a flop or a bad game.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, you put his name on anything, and it gets me excited.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
So that was Death Stranding. The final announcement that we had, which I don't think anybody. I mean, there were rumours that it was happening, but I don't think anybody put two and two together with the studio. And that was the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Fucking hell. Excuse the French. I literally lost my mind when that was announced.
Yeah.
I actually shouted like really loud, and like the woman behind me sort of looked at me like, "What the hell's up with him?"
I think everybody did. Like the screen came up and it said, it said something like, people don't know who I really am, and I was just like, that's New York.
Yeah.
And then the Marvel screen came up and we just looked at each other. And
unbelievable.
Holy shit.
And it's Insomniac as well, and Insomniac, like I said to you, they're sort of renowned for their colourful and bright games, and that fits like the Spider-Man universe. So,
yeah, absolutely.
It was short again, another short clip, but yeah, I was like, whoa, that's amazing. I just did not expect it at all.
Yeah, I genuinely couldn't believe it. Like there was the rumor that Sucker Punch was working on the Spider-Man game, so I've just got to wonder like how these conversations have been going internally at Sony recently. Like they all think it's Sucker Punch.
Yeah,
it's not Sucker Punch. It's Insomniac. Honest to God, like
that was one that just threw me completely.
Yeah,
I just did not expect it at all.
Yeah, it was a proper out of the blue, holy shit moment. And I was just sat with a grin on my face at that point.
Constantly,
That was just amazing. Didn't expect it, and they've certainly kind of channeled the right aesthetic to it. I think they've not tried to make it gritty and all that stuff. Like from that reveal, it seems like it's very much in the vein of
the comics
of being comic book.
Yeah,
games.
definitely.
And then to wrap it all up, they gave us a live gameplay demo. Of Days Gone. We at one point I sort of thought, is this just going to be one of those things where they say it's this name and then halfway through they'll reveal that it's a Last of Us 2 demo, but no, it is a new game. The gameplay does look quite Last of Us-esque, and the hordes of zombies kind of remind me of Dead Rising.
Definitely,
with fast-moving zombies, essentially. The mechanics of like the hordes, if you like, so the swathes of enemies, that looked cool as anything.
Yeah, there was like hundreds as well. Like they just kept on coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's the trailer the gameplay trailer sort of started, it sort of had that Last of Us look. It obviously wasn't as nice looking as the Last of Us.
Yeah.
But it had that sort of that look to it. And then when the sort of shooting mechanics come into it, it did remind me of Dead Rising in the way like just the hordes and hordes of enemies, and like obviously it's not got the zany sort of over the top weapons that Dead Rising's got.
With with Dead Rising, you've got that sort of slow, shambling horde that just move in the mentality that they do, whereas these are like
fast.
The rage zombies, you know, the fast-moving ones, and it was. I can imagine myself genuinely like getting really pant-shittingly scared.
Yeah, and it looked like a lot of fun as well. So I really want to see. And that was Bend, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Because they've been away for. I think the last game they'd done was.
It was a Vita game, wasn't it?
Vita, was it? It couldn't have been Uncharted.
I think it might have been actually.
Golden Abyss. That was a launch.
It's been
title.
a while.
Yeah, I know they've been away for a while, but yeah, it's good to see them back. Obviously, we didn't get no Sucker Punch, but
yeah, that was my thought once Insomniac were revealed to be doing the Spider-Man stuff. It was like, well, what was Sucker Punch doing?
Sucker Punch, their last game was Second Son, right?
Yeah.
So that was a few years back now.
2 years back now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the overall from the stuff that's been shown today and yesterday, this is Sunday, obviously. I think in terms of the games that have shown so far, I think Sony have had the best press conference out of the big ones, to be honest.
Like Microsoft had ones that I really, really liked, but they had a lot that I didn't really care for. Then Sony, there was more I loved than more that I more I loved than more that I didn't love. So yeah, I was very, very happy with what they showed.
I think I said to you on the way out, you know, that I think every game that was shown off, I think I'll probably end up buying.
Yeah, that's the worrying thing though, because it's going to cost you an absolute fortune. But yeah, it's best to have too many good games rather than too little. So
yeah,
but yeah, what they shown, I was like extremely happy. The two that stood out for me were God of War and Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
And throw in Batman VR. But obviously it's so early we don't know what's what.
To be honest, that was just a curveball.
Yeah.
Like, nobody saw that coming.
No.
And yeah, like I was fully impressed with a lot of stuff that Sony showed today. So
yeah,
I think that'll probably do it, to be honest, because we're both about ready for bed. We've been running around LA today, and it's, you know, I know it sounds like we're whinging for no reason, but it's all for a good cause.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll bring you a bunch more stuff from the rest of the week. We've got a load of appointments. I think things are starting to drop into place as to what those appointments are now that everything's been revealed.
Yep.
So we'll make sure we get plenty of audio, plenty of video for you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Cool.
All right, bye.
Bye.